What are hedge trimmers? Powered hedge trimmers use two blade bars like these, which oscillate back and forth very quickly. There are dozens of sharpened edges along each blade, and as the foliage gets trapped between the two blades, the foliage is cut. Powered hedge trimmers also come in electric versions, but the gasoline-powered version is very convenient and fast because the electric cord is not in your way. This tool can be called many different things like gas trimmers, gas shears, or hedge clippers. We will simply call them hedge trimmers. Before starting the hedge trimmer, it is important to check the following. The condition of the hedge trimmer. Do you see any damage that may affect its performance in safe operation? For example, make sure the spark plug boot is secure to avoid sparks and possible ignition of spilled fuel. Test the throttle trigger to make sure it is in good working order and that it does not stick or is too loose. Inspect for missing or worn guards. Inspect for loose parts, for example, nuts and screws on cutting bars. Ensure the blade is not cracked, bent, or warped. The blades are sharp and safe to use. Always check with the engine off. Check fuel. Make sure there's enough for the job. It is safer to refuel a cool engine compared to a hot one. It can be frustrating to run out of fuel before you have completed your task and have to refuel mid-operation. Check that the fuel type is correct. The trimmer in this module uses a gas-oil mixture. We recommend that you complete the Hort Safety Module Engines and Fuel Basics before operating this unit. Personal hazards. The hedge trimmer probably presents the most potential personal hazards of any piece of grounds maintenance equipment. Personal hazards are harm which we can cause to ourselves, including loose hair or clothing can be caught by the cutting blades. Noise. Hedge trimmers are very noisy. You can damage your hearing without proper ear protection. Tripping hazards and collisions are a very serious threat. If your head is down and you are concentrating on the hedge trimming work, you can become distracted and trip as you walk through the garden. Stepping into a hidden window well while trimming a dense grouping of shrubs is one example of a possible hazard. Landscape technicians have been known to cut their hands severely by touching the cutting bar while trying to regain their balance. Do not walk while the blades are moving. Make sure both feet are stationary while you cut. Let the blade stop moving before you change your footing position. Ladder hazards. It is not recommended to work on a ladder with these trimmers. There are other hedge trimmer devices like this one mounted to the shaft of a string trimmer, which are suitable for situations requiring high reach. Mishandling hazards. Mishandling the hedge trimmers. For example, holding the trimmers with one hand while cutting, or putting one hand on the gearbox housing rather than the right-hand handle to get more reach, is a common but serious mistake which can lead to the loss of a finger or worse. Blade contact hazards. Not only are your hands vulnerable to injury, but your legs and chest and even your face are vulnerable. Again, do not work with the machine above shoulder height. Fuel hazards. If the cap vibrates off, you might spill fuel on yourself or on the property. Bees or bird's nest hazards. Striking a bee's nest is actually a fairly common personal hazard. Be aware. If you see more than one bee in your work area, there may be a nest inside the shrub. Electric shock. If you were to cut through an electric cord, you could get a shock. The hedge trimmer is probably the piece of small equipment most likely to cause severe personal injury because the cutting takes place so close to our hands and body. Be mindful of this. Be careful. Bystander hazards. Bystander hazards are those things which accidentally might harm coworkers, customers, or bystanders near our work area. Release the throttle on the hedge trimmer and move the cutting blade away from the people when they are near. After they are safely away, you can resume trimming. In tight areas like walkways, corridors, courtyards, porches, and near open windows, keep the throttle down to a minimum as the noise is amplified and can alarm residents and frighten children. While trimming a tall hedge, always be aware of what is on the other side. Keep well away from your coworkers. If a coworker is cleaning up after you, keep them well away from you as you work, and do not rush to try and keep ahead of them. Never let the equipment run unattended. Double-check fuel type. The wrong fuel can wreck an engine. Property hazards. Property hazards. These are damages which you might do to property in the course of using a hedge trimmer. The hedge trimmer can cut almost anything as large as your finger's diameter. This would include the vinyl or aluminum siding around windows, electric cords, etc. You might be required to work very close to objects in order to trim your shrubs. Be careful. There are many different things which can be hidden inside the heavy growth of a shrub or hedge, including wire, electrical cable, metal posts, fencing, and other materials. You can damage them and the blades of the machine as well. There is a transportation hazard. A hedge trimmer can be damaged during transport. It is long and awkward, and the blades may become entangled with other things. It is sometimes hard to store easily. Be sure it is sitting securely before the truck leaves the job site. There is the possibility of theft. Keep the trimmer in sight or locked or out of sight of others when not in use.